4.
Welcome to C# Programming on .NET. My name is Brett Robley. I teach at Cal State University Fullerton, and the class is ISDS 309. This video lecture is going to round out the lessons that I'm recording from Chapter 14 of Joyce Farrell's Microsoft Visual C# 2017. In this lesson, we're going to implement the FindEmployees program. You see the data file there with the employee number, first name, last name, and salary. So let's create a new project. We'll call it FindEmployees. Make it a console app as usual. Clean up the template code, and we'll start at the top using static system.console, and then using system.io for our file handling. Let's create a class called FindEmployees. Well, FindEmployees. Set up our main method. And now let's create a constant character delim for delimiter and set that equal to single tick, comma, which will be our comma separated value delimiting character. Let's set up the end integer so that the user can signal when they're done inputting. Let's set the file name using the @ syntax so that we don't have to escape the backslashes in the path. Next, let's instantiate an employee object. And the employee object comes from the employee class. And I'll jump down and create the employee class in the same file. This is the class that we use as our data structure for the employee. And we'll set up 4 properties: the first name, last name, employee number, and a salary, so that we can actually do some searching within the file. I'll use the auto implementing properties and the getters and setters that we get for free as part of C#. Now notice that the first and last name are string types. The employee number, called empnum, is an integer, and the salary is a double. Okay, let's jump back up now. And let's set up our file access by declaring and instantiating a FLStream object. I got a little bit of help here from IntelliSense, so I got to fix the employee. There we go. All right. Now let's set up our FLStream object. And calling the constructor with the same 3 parameters: file name, file mode, and file access. Let's wrap this object in a stream reader so that we can read from the file using the readLine method. And we'll pass it in file as the parameter. Now we'll set up rec as a string. That's the string variable that will hold the entire record or the entire line from the file as we each read through each line. We'll set up a string array called fields and min salary as a double. And now we'll ask the user to input the minimum salary to find or 999 to quit. Okay, next we'll set up our while loop, and the while test will be min salary not equal to end. So whatever the user puts in for searching, the only thing that would stop the program is when the user puts in 999. And since we're going to be searching through an open text file, the first statement in our while loop is going to be infile.seek, and we're going to seek to the beginning of the file. And that way, each time we go through, we can read the items out of the file, and the next time through the loop, we reset the file pointer to the beginning of the file so it can actually search through all the records in the file. Now we're going to set up the display for the report that's going to show up on the screen. We'll use a write line statement with a format string so we can control the 5 columns that we're going to be outputting, I'm sorry, 6 columns, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. 2 of those columns are just spaces, 3 spaces each, so that we can kind of line up the output, make it look like a report. Now let's read a line from the file. Now we'll set up our while test and make sure that rec is not null. If it is, then we're done. It means that the file is empty, or we've gotten to the end of the file. Now we'll go ahead and split the record or line of text that we just read from the file and store it in the fields array. We'll test field 3. We'll convert it to double and then test to make sure it's greater than or equal to the minimum salary. Now I'm going to copy the write line statement from above that we used to print out the column headers. That way I can have all the same format string and then just update what I'm displaying in that format string. So I'll start replacing the headings with actual subscripts or subscripts into the fields array, and that will allow us to pluck out each one of the values from that string array. Now here on this salary, we're going to, because it's stored as a string in fields sub 3, we need to convert it to a double. And then I'm going to use method chaining, and I'm going to call toString, and then in quotes I'm going to put C for currency. And that will format the string that we just converted to double. It will format it in the form of currency so that our display looks nice, like a real report. And then we'll read the next record, and then we'll continue looping through until we run out of records to test and conditionally display. So I could have copied this line from above, but I went ahead and just typed it in. And then would have been smarter to copy the two lines from above, but I'll just go ahead and type these in now. Okay, and then finally we'll close the reader and close the in-file object. Now this is risky. We'll go ahead and I'll execute it. We'll see if we have any problems that we need to fix. Okay, no problems so far. And now I'm going to put in 100,000. And oh, we just crashed. Okay, so it looks like we have some kind of a format string error. And if I look at this last line, it tells me where, about, so line 30. So we'll go back and take a look and see what's happening at line 30. So I'm just stepping through the format string. I'm going to pause the video so that I can go troubleshoot this. Okay, so right here, I left out the 3 spaces that we needed. And so we had a mismatch between the number of parameters in the format string, 6, and the number of values that I passed after the comma, which was 5. So now I fixed that. I'll go ahead and put in 100,000. Okay, now we get data, but our headings are all messed up. I've got the field data out of order. It's not lining up. I'll do another value, and you can see everything's kind of herky-jerky, out of whack. It looks like names are coming up first instead of employee numbers, and so on and so forth. So to figure this out, we should go back and look at the file and see what order do these fields occur in the file. I just expanded the column width of column 1. And then I'll try and build this again. We still have fields out of order, but I want to get these columns a little wider. Okay, we're getting there. We just have to change the order of how we're displaying the field data. So let's go back and take a look at the file. Oh, right. Emp number should be field sub 0. First name should be field sub 1. And so you can see here I've got these out of order. So let's go back to the text file. Oh, I'll change them around in the right line statement. Now this order for class employee doesn't matter. What matters is the order we find the data in the text file that we're reading. So I'll pause the video, go off and check some stuff. And see, you might think this is field sub 0, but it's really not. We have to really go look at the file to see the proper order. So again, employee number comes first, so let me put some headers up there so we can see this. So this will be field sub 0. And then we'll tab over and see that first name is fields sub 1. Let's do it again and see that last name is fields sub 2. And the last one, fields sub 3, is the salary. All right, so now we know which fields map to the order of data in the text file. So now I can update this properly. Field sub 0 is empnum. Field sub 1 is first name. Field sub 2 is the last name. And field sub 3 is salary. I'm going to quit this and then do a new run so we can see if we fixed our problems. Put in 100,000. And boom, now we get it to line up. Now it looks much better. I'll put in another value here, a smaller value, get more records at, and you see things are lining up much better. Okay, that's it.